We just got some new interesting information for Warzone 2 and DMZ. It looks like there might be a pay-to-win feature in DMZ. We've also got more information on the interrogation feature in Warzone and a bunch of other stuff. As always, we're going to be covering everything in this video in a rapid style format. That way you can quickly watch this video and get right back into game. If you're new here and want to sub, I would greatly appreciate it. If you have a like or comment, appreciate you a ton. Moving on to the blog post, the first thing they talk about is Warzone 2.0 is going to have a Trello board. These are super helpful. This is kind of a place where developers can tell you, hey, these are the bugs we know are in the game. These ones we're working on fixing right now. These are different features we're planning on adding, and these are all the things we've already fixed. So this is going to give us more information and more insight to what's going on with Warzone 2, and I'm really glad they decided to do this. We've already seen this for Treyarch's last game, Cold War, and we even saw this for Vanguard, so the fact Warzone 2 is getting this is pretty good. Next, they talk about what you're going to spawn in with and what the loadout looks like. So you're going to spawn in with the X12 handgun, 2 armor plates, and you're going to have obviously your fist as well. Here's how the loadout works. You're going to have a primary and secondary weapon, lethal and tactical equipment. Then you're going to have the perk package from MP, a pre-made set of 4 perks containing Modern Warfare's 2 base perks, bonus, and ultimate perk. Then they talk about the backpack system that's in Warzone 2.0, and this is a more simplified version of the backpack system in DMZ. So you're going to have your operator loadout, and then you're going to have a backpack with additional items, and at any point in time you can switch between the items that are in your backpack and in your loadout, and you're just not going to have a bunch of clunky menus. In terms of gathering, there's no menu navigating outside of these containers: duffel bags, cash registers, and weapon lockers. I like that a lot. I like having the backpack system, but in battle royale games, I find it really clunky when there's a bunch of different menus and you're always, managing an inventory. So they've seemed to just streamline this, have this inventory with this backpack, but make it very simplified, easy to use, so you're not wasting a lot of time. By default, cash, armor, and any items that you already have in your loadout or backpack, example, a specific ammo type, are automatically picked up. Love to see that. Next, we have the interrogation feature in Warzone 2. I find this interesting, so let's read through this really quickly. After successfully downloading an enemy player in squad-based mode, you can either go for the kill or more strategically interrogate them. By interrogating a downed enemy player, you will learn the location of their allies via red dot pings on the minimap, as well as outlines in the environment like a snapshot grenade for a short period of time. You will also see the locations of any placed equipment they have. This effect also dissipates once the interrogatee dies or is revived. Of course, this tactic should only be done if the enemy squad is nowhere to be found after one of their allies is down. The person being interrogation can also call for help, which marks the interrogator on the map. Essentially, this new mechanic offers an incredible amount of intel for taking a few seconds to interact with a down operator. We do not recommend doing this during an active fight, but if a takedown happens in a large building and no one else seems to be around, shake down the injured operator and learn where their friends are. This is really, really interesting, and I have a feeling this is going to create a lot of turmoil between teams when people try to lone wolf it and they end up getting interrogated, giving away the position of the rest of their team. Then we've got more information on the new circle collapse. We've talked about this before, so we're just going to briefly go over this. In Warzone 2, there's multiple different types of circle collapses. You've got the original one from the OG Warzone where it just gets smaller and smaller. Then you've got a multi-circle one where it's going to break up into multiple different circles, and this is going to slowly collapse back into one circle. So if you get into the multi-circle with the merge, they're all going to meet back in the middle. So you've got to kind of plan for that. You've got to stay for it and know that this zone is going to move and merge with another zone after a bit of time. After this, they talk about the new gulag. However, there's no new information in this. We've already covered all this before. Then they give us an overview of DMZ. This is just the basics. What is DMZ? Spawn in, you loot. If you don't exfil, you die. You permanently lose all that loot. Then they give us some lore and information about DMZ. So obviously the main goal of DMZ is to be doing all these missions from these different factions. You've got Legion, the White Lotus, and the Black Modus. They do give us some background information. I'm going to leave this link below if you care about the story and all that. But essentially, when you first start playing DMZ, you're going to have the Legion faction unlocked. You're going to be able to do missions for them. After you do enough missions for the Legion faction, you're going to unlock the White Lotus faction. Once again, after you do enough missions for both White Lotus and Legion, you're then going to unlock the Black Modus faction, and now you can start doing missions for all 3 of them. So on top of the main quests given to you by the different factions, there's also going to be contracts and world activities going on while you're doing these missions. So this is going to be almost like the campaign mode. Doing these are going to be the main missions giving you the storyline, but once you're in the world doing these, there's going to be different contracts around the map working just like Warzone. There's going to be one for securing intel and a different search. Find intel on hard drives and go to the nearest radio tower to upload this data. Alternatively, it might ask you to collect uranium rods found around Geiger counter. Elimination, assassinate a different target. Hostage, rescue a hostage. Cargo delivery, depending on the specific contract, find a vehicle or a boat with precious cargo, drop it off at a marked location. Hunt, Hunt enemy operator team marked with high value targets, destroy supplies, locate and destroy 2 supply sites with planted bombs. So with these, just like Warzone contracts, you're going to get a variety of rewards once you complete them. World activities, safes. These contain a ton of cash, but also take time to crack open. SAM sites. These anti-air turrets can shoot down planes carrying precious cargo. UAV towers are going to locate enemies around the map. Hidden caches, obviously not marked on the map, but learn where they are to find consistent valuable item drops. Strongholds are also going to exist in this mode. Sandstorms, as a desert city, these conditions can kick up at any time, reducing visibility and damaging operators over time. Radiation, not much is known about its origins, but deadly conditions can poison operators. Iodine pills and a new field upgrade can be found to counteract its effectiveness. And next they go over how PvP is going to work in DMZ, and I feel like a lot of people expect for this to play like Warzone, but you're allowed to team up in this mode. If you find a random guy, you're allowed to talk to him in voice chat and be like, hey, you want to do this mission with me? And you're allowed to team up in a big party and do a mission together. However, they do say you can pull a General Shepherd and cut loose ends, meaning once you get all the rewards, you can kind of take down the teammate you've been teaming with, take their rewards, exfil with it, and get all the loot. So this is going to be a very interesting mode, but you've got to watch your back because there's going to be people who are definitely going to try to take advantage of this. When it comes to the backpack and looting system in DMZ, it's a little bit more complicated than the Warzone 2.0 system, mainly because you can keep these items once you exfil. So there's different items you're going to want to keep just so you can use them in your next run. In DMZ, you can carry the following items in your loadout: 2 weapons with their maximum amount of ammo, 2 equipment pieces, a field upgrade and kill streak, armor plates, and gas mask. Everything else, such as cash, additional ammo, weapons, and equipment and other valuables, is stored in the backpack. The reason you'd want to keep a bunch of extra weapons is next time you play DMZ, you're going to have those items. Whereas in Warzone, you don't really need a primary, secondary weapon and then like 5 other weapons in your backpack because you're not going to have use. You can only use 2 weapons at a time. Storage and item permanence. Everything or anything you extract from the DMZ, cash, weapons, and other items are kept in storage, which can access at any time between matches in the pre-match lobby. You are free to take anything from storage and put it into the backpack or active loadout for the next infiltration. The storage system incentivizes operators who can exfil with as many possible items, especially contraband weapons. Now we have the weapon systems in DMZ, and this is where things might start to get a little pay to win. So contraband weapons, these are the weapons you're going to find in the DMZ mode and exfil with. These are going to have anywhere between 0 to 5 attachments, and that's going to be randomized. Then we have weapon blueprints. Other than contraband, you also have access to weapon blueprints in DMZ. Weapon blueprints have a unique property. They are not permanently lost upon death. Instead, dying in DMZ with a weapon blueprint on your person makes the blueprint inaccessible for a period of time, usually a few hours. So if you have weapon blueprints, you can go into DMZ with them, and if you lose them and die, you can just wait a few hours and use them again. Now, we don't know exactly how this is going to work, but from what it sounds like, if you buy a bunch of bundles, you'll have a ton of blueprints, and each time you go in and die and lose that blueprint, just use another one of your wider range of blueprints you have to offer. And if you eventually lose all of them, then just wait a couple hours, come back, and you'll have like 30 plus blueprints. Maybe they'll have some limits to this feature to kind of nerf it to make it so where people can't just go to the shop, buy every bundle, and have a ton of available weapons. Because if you don't have blueprints, the only other way to be able to go in and spawn in with powerful weapons is to use these contraband weapons, which are going to have 0 to 5 randomized attachments. And sometimes having just random attachments on a weapon in this Warzone 2 system is going to be pretty brutal. Then there's going to be functional weapons. If you go into DMZ and you exfil with a weapon you don't have, you're going to unlock it. This includes the M13B assault rifle, a new free functional weapon earned by defeating blank. So to get the M13, you're going to have to defeat some sort of, I guess, boss. And then if you exfil with them, you're going to be able to unlock this and keep this weapon. This is how the exfil system is going to work. Once you're ready to leave, you can call one of the exfil sites. A helicopter is going to come, but there's also going to be a swarm of AI that you have to take out. Once you take them out, you're going to be able to leave. However, there's a finite number of exfil points in a DMZ match. So if you're playing with a bunch of other people and they're all, deciding to exfil early, you might quickly run out of these. And once they're gone, there's going to be one final site that's going to be marked just like in Warzone. And I have a feeling this final site is going to be, it's going to be a battlefield. There's going to be a lot of people fighting to escape once they realize, oh crap, we're either going to leave now or we're going to lose all of our stuff. There is also one other way to exfil. The hostage rescue contract also offers the ability to exfil after successfully delivering the hostages. Here's what happens if you die in DMZ. If you're playing solo, you instantly lose. You lose everything you have because there's no one to revive you. If you are playing co-op and you go down, a teammate is going to be able to revive you. Even if you fully bleed out, the teammate is still going to be able to revive you, but it's going to take a little bit longer. So when playing DMZ, you're definitely going to want to be in a party because this mode is going to be brutal for solo players. Luckily enough, they've added a new looking for party feature, and this sounds pretty cool. Expanded from the previous Warzone feature, this feature now includes the following preference filter: in-game communication style, voice chat, text chat, ping, main language, select up to 3 language preferences, play style, competitive, casual, objectives, and high skills. So you can set this filter. Say you want to talk via voice chat and you want to find other people who are going to talk via voice chat. You can set your filter for that. Let's say you don't want to talk, but you want to type and do the text chat. You can set your filter for that. Let's say you just want to use the pinging feature. You can set your filter for that. Same thing. If you want to do a bunch of objectives and you want to find people who are also going to do objectives, you can set your filter for that, and it's going to find you other people who also have this selected. Then there's going to be the new ping system, and we've already been able to use this in Modern Warfare private matches. It's been disabled in the 6v6 mode because there was a pretty big glitch with it, but there's a lot of feature with this ping system. In DMZ and Warzone 2, there's also going to be proximity chat. This is going to be interesting, meaning other players within a general range of you, if you have your mic on, are going to be able to hear you, and you're going to be able to hear them. Then we have Strongholds and Black Sites, and this is where you're going to be able to unlock your first permanent reward here in Warzone. Another concept across both mode is the presence of Strongholds. At the end of the first circle collapse in Battle Royale matches, 3 strongholds are activated around the map and do not require a key for access. At the beginning of a DMC match, several strongholds will become accessible by finding a key somewhere around the map. In both modes, they are marked with a large green castle icons and contain AI combatants. In Battle Royale, the first team to reach a stronghold must defuse a bomb before the time explodes. Otherwise, the objective is to clear out a specific amount of enemies. Both AI combatants and rival opponents count. This is also the default objective in DMZ. Once inside, operators are free to take any items after clearing the threats, which can include enemy operator squads who can enter at any time. Completing a stronghold in Battle Royale also offers a loadout crate and a temporary UAV effect in the surrounding area. Black sites are only available in Battle Royale. A more dangerous form of strongholds, this requires a key, black site key to access, which is given to the first operator or squad to clear out a stronghold. The black site is marked with a skull icon and contains considerably tougher enemies, including a unique Juggernaut boss. The rewards for completing a black site is great. First, a permanent weapon blueprint is immediately rewarded for use in all modes. During the match itself, operators get tons of legendary items as well as a permanent UAV of the area surrounding the black site until the circle collapse. So yeah, black sites sound like they're going to be very difficult to get to, and even once you get to them, you're going to have to fight a Juggernaut boss, which is going to be very hard. But when you do it, the first time you finish this, you're going to get a permanent weapon blueprint, which is going to be really cool. You're going to be able to use that on MP, DMZ, all the different modes that allow you to use a blueprint. So I'm definitely going to have to make sure we get this done once because I like collecting these blueprints. And who knows, they might cycle out the blueprint you get for finishing these black sites every season. Next, they break down all of the vehicles here in Warzone 2, the amount of drivers, the amount of passengers, and the amount of damage it can take. We're not going to go through and read all of this because there's a lot of vehicles. However, I will scroll through it if you just want to pause for a second, and the full blog post is going to be linked down below. But yeah, I don't want to put and talk about this because this would add an extra 5 to 10 minutes on this video. And at the end of the day, it's pretty self-explanatory how many different people each vehicle is going to hold. Then they talk about the vehicle techniques, and yes, some of the stuff we saw in the campaign mode where you're able to hop on top of the vehicle from the driving position is actually going to work, and there's going to be some more realistic damage. You're going to be able to shoot the tires out of these vehicles now. And on top of this, the vehicles in Warzone 2 aren't going to have unlimited gas. Once the fuel starts running out, you're going to have to go to a gas station to refill it. At some point, if you just keep going forever, it's going to run out of gas and it's going to stop working. However, refilling your vehicle is also going to restore the entirety of its health too. Buy Station 2.0, available gear, gas mask, kill streaks, armor, and more. This is the Buy Station content of old with a twist. There is a limited quantity of items that can be bought at each shop before it runs out for the match, and the item list may not be the same for each shop. Buy weapons. Custom weapon created for loadouts and Battle Royale can be purchased for a considerable fee. Teammate buyback, Battle Royale only. As the original Warzone, squad mates can buy back their fallen allies, including those who lose in the gulag. Sell, DMZ only. From valuables like hard drives and gold bars to weapon and equipment, the shops will happily give out cash for anything in your backpack. Then they talk about the aquatic combat. However, I'm not going to read through this because it's pretty self-explanatory. If you've ever used water features in COD before, the underwater combat is going to perform pretty much exactly like you would expect it to. There is one last interesting thing down here. Modern Warfare 2 owners will also get MW2 XP while playing Warzone 2. At the end of each match, owners will receive additional XP on top of any XP that can be earned by all players. So if you own a copy of Modern Warfare 2, you're going to be getting more XP per match of DMZ and Warzone just for owning a copy. You're going to get an additional bonus for finishing the match and getting that XP, so you'll be able to level up faster than the people playing Warzone for free. With that, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Let me know how you felt about anything in this, how DMZ might be a little pay to win with the whole blueprint feature or any of the other crap. As always, if you want to see any more rapid style content for COD, make sure to sub to the channel. I'm going to keep you guys fully updated to anything happening with Call of Duty. And if you left a like or a comment, I appreciate it a ton. Peace.